The opposition chose not to file a petition seeking the invalidation with the courts during that time frame. They decided to pursue their grievances through other means, which is absolutely their right and their decision. But it does mean that right now, as we understand Sierra Leonean law, there isn't a space for a rerun. There isn't a space for an invalidation.
Hello, my family. Baba Check the Political Offender with another edition of the program Dodon CLIN. Well, my family, this particular program today, now for come educate the one them we no know and the one that we know they pretend as if they no know. Well, my family, this now concerning this tripartite committee and the rerun of the 2023 elections. Well, some politicians them and some we reading at the media, they misinformed people them for say there will be a rerun after where the tripartite committee go bring out a recommendation where go be next month June. But for the benefit of the one them, we want for no, because some people they know say there will be no rerun, while some they don't know. But for the benefit of them, even though I don't make series of programs them for tell people and say there will be no rerun, American ambassador, when David Brian Hunt, in the can tell you exactly what in the tripartite they for and waiting and get for do. So my family, we listen to how the US ambassador David Brian Hunt they define the tripartite waiting and stand for. And after I will try for interpret them and summarize them for let people and go understand for the benefit of the one they will not go understand with the talk.
For the definition of tripartite, because I think that's very important. The Tripartite Committee was set up under the Agreement for National Unity. The reason they call it tripartite is because it has three co-chairs. One of those co-chairs comes from the government of Sierra Leone, one comes from the All Parties Congress, and one comes from the United Nations. So that's why we call it tripartite, because there are three parties involved in chairing it, and three parties involved in the work of the committee.
Well, first and foremost, it try for define waiting at the tripartite committee. He say because it's very important. He say then set the tripartite committee for national unity. And he said the reason why they call it tripartite, he said because he get three co-chairs them. He said the one at the government of Salon, when at the SLPP, two the opposition, when at the All People's Congress, APC, and the United Nations, where we can call international committee. He said, and then call it tripartite because na three party involved in chairing the work where then they do, and they all the work together.
In terms of what is the committee's mandate, I think the committee's mandate was to review all of Sierra Leone's elections since she became a multi-party democracy, and to determine what reforms were necessary to address the repeated deficiencies in the electoral system that have been identified by a range of domestic and international observers over time, and that are of concern to both the government and the opposition. It was also asked to take a very specific look at the 2023 election and make recommendations as to what accountability measures could be put in place for some of the issues that took place during that election. So it's very much open-ended to look at those.
And he said the committee mandate, he said now for review all the elections the way to happen at Salon from the time where Salon gets multi-party democracy. And he said now for address all the lapses them where people can be identify na Salon for these 2023 elections and the international observers them. And he said again for take a special look at the 2023 elections and waiting and get for recommend and the accountabilities and the measures them way for put in place and some of the issues them will be happen during the 2023 elections. And he said again for look into all the issues then they.
But the mandate says that whatever the committee recommends has to be realistic and it has to be implementable, which is why when people talk about are we going to invalidate the results and have a new election, As I said earlier, Sierra Leonean law is fairly clear on this point. That can be done by the courts based on an electoral petition filed within a specific frame of time.
And the mandate say again, it say whatever the committee where them pick, so that the tripartite committee will comprise of the government, the APC, and the international community. He say the recommendation where them get for recommend, he say for be realistic and it for be implementable. And when say realistic, that means say for be real and nothing what them for able for put in place in order for let it go work. He said plenty people let me they talk about the invalidation of the election results after the elections. He said and it clear na the Salon law. He said in this particular point, then the only do am na court based on the electoral quotations and a specific frame of time. That's na the court no more get for do all lengthing and day. Based on waiting day now is Salon constitution about election. And the time frame day, just like waiting Sylvia Blyden be the try for explain. The time frame day waiting for do all lengthing a day. But the APC be failed for do that.
The opposition chose not to file a petition seeking the invalidation with the courts during that time frame. They decided to pursue their grievances through other means, which is absolutely their right and their decision. But it does mean that right now, as we understand Sierra Leonean law, there isn't a space for a rerun. There isn't a space for an invalidation. So what the committee is focusing on is what is implementable. And I think we all need to be prepared that the recommendations coming out of the committee are most likely to focus on legislative and constitutional reforms and some forms of accountability mechanisms.
He said, and the APC be decide not for file any petition at court during the time frame for let the court go invalidate the result. And he said the APC be decide for pursuing grievances that they were mad through other means. They not try for follow the court's law because they feel saying that the right thing and NMB do. He say, yeah, he writes to them because now waiting and decide for do. And he say right now, according to the Salon law, he say no space no day for any rerun or any space for invalidate the election result. And he say right now, the tripartite committee waiting them focus on now for implement things them way them were able for put in place. And he say we all for prepare for that recommendation say where they come from the committee. He say most likely then therefore focus on the legislation and the constitutional reforms and some forms of accountability mechanism. When we found them now that's just one person to now, and we all know here the US ambassador where it try for define waiting at tripartite and waiting the tripartite therefore, and if it possible for lay then go invalidate the election result, or if it possible for lay then go do another election rerun. But the ambassador say all that's not possible. This is loud and clear for the one that we will understand, because some people and they out there where they pretend not to understand. Then waiting and they think that them believe in. They don't believe in the reality. So my family now go end so far. Until next time, this na Baba Check the Political Offender with another edition of the program. Don't clean. Namidi say tata. Peace.